The UK is preparing a massive operation in case America launches a ground invasion into Iran soon. And this operation could literally change the future of the Middle East forever. But so this makes sense, reports are coming out that over the next week or so, the US is expected to put troops on the ground in Iran. That would be the start of a war which could last for years, threatening thousands and thousands of British nationals all across the Middle East. Loads of countries would end up involved. The UAE would be hit, Saudi would be hit, Lebanon would be hit, etc. All of these countries have British citizens in, and so the UK has just drawn up a massive operation plan to get them out. And the report says, quote, Royal Marines are on standby to be flown out to carry out this operation. That's how big a deal this is. But to really understand the extent of this operation, you need to know what could happen if the US launches an invasion. A war this big would result in almost all of the airspace around the Middle East being shut, meaning that no planes would fly in or out. That makes it almost impossible for British citizens to leave on their own. And so the UK has to go in with a new plan, and that's what this operation is. The UK is drawing up plans for their Royal Marine commandos to sail boats, whether it's inflatable boats or big landing craft, onto the beaches of countries in the Middle East. Whether they have to land on the shores of Lebanon, the shores of Saudi Arabia, the shores of the UAE, etc. And then British citizens that are in those countries that want to leave will have to get onto those landing crafts and be evacuated to a warship and then flown out from another country. And this genuinely might sound like some World War II, World War III situation, but I think genuinely that is what we're looking at here. If the US does launch a ground invasion into Iran in the coming weeks, we could be looking at a situation that lasts for years, which puts millions of lives at risk. There are hundreds of thousands of British civilians and thousands of soldiers in the Middle East, and all of those people could come under threat if the US launches a World War III type of attack. As I've said, there'd be no way for our citizens to fly out on their own, meaning that we as a country would be bound to rescuing our citizens abroad. And by the looks of it, we're going to do that. Polymarket, a place where you can predict world events, predicts there's now a 67% chance that American troops will enter Iran by the end of next month. That makes it more likely than not. And the UK is not just writing down these plans, it seems like they're actually preparing for this. The report said, quote, commando raiding crafts have been quietly transferred to the Eastern Mediterranean. That means this is actually happening. The UK is sending landing craft which could be used to land on the beaches of countries in the Middle East to pick up British citizens and rescue them. I'm going to give you an example. I know British citizens who are currently in Lebanon. I get loads of people who are also British citizens in Lebanon messaging me. A lot of you watching this could be too. There's currently 4,500 of you in Beirut. And all of you people, if flights are cancelled, will not be able to leave the country, or you won't be able to afford to leave the country. And so the UK is now planning to rescue those people and bring them out to safety so that they're not killed by Israeli airstrikes. The last thing we want is British citizens being killed by Israel or Iran. And so we're planning to rescue them, and we're literally putting the equipment in the Middle East ready to do that if the US launches a ground invasion. This is such a big deal, and this war is escalating way further beyond what I thought it would. And the rule of the longer something goes on, the longer it's likely to go on for appears to be true here too. And so the war's likely to continue. So leave me a follow because I'm going to keep you up to date on this, and hopefully this doesn't happen, but if it does, I'll keep you up to date on that too.